Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 22 here on GM Games. My name is Aaron, host of Around the World Sports. It is August 31st. We are 88 and 51, 21 games up in the NL West. Looks as though the division is ours. Barring something spectacular. But the bad news is that we've never won a division title and won the World Series. So we are looking for back-to-back World Series championships here. We'll see what happens. What do we want to look at? Let's look at some contract situations. We have Mitchell Sorensen, Drew Bowser, Victor Acosta all up at the end of this season. Jim Denny is going to want a substantial raise that he has no doubt earned. I would love to bring Sorensen back. His ratings, looks like his potential stuff has dropped a tiny bit, but he's been really, really good. 8 wins, on pace for 9.5, and he wants a lot of money. I mean, his contract demands, I can't afford to bring him back for that. So we may have to let him go to free agency and see what the options are at that point. Bowser, we picked up midseason. He wants a lot of money. Defensively, he's really, really good. I don't know that, I guess we can probably afford his bat as long as it's around there. And Acosta, I would like to bring back, but he just gets hurt all the time. He's put up back-to-back 4-win seasons for us. He's been so good. He's been so good defensively, which we expect, but the offense we haven't expected, and he's been terrific. So we've got some potential contract issues, but that's for next season, not this season. So we're going to sim the rest of the regular season, and then we are going to get to the postseason. And we're at roster expansion, which is huge because that means we can bring back Ramirez, who's probably pretty unhappy to be in AAA, where he hit almost 400. So we will bring Ramirez back up. And Aparicio has to be on the 40-man after this season. So we may as well give him a shot and see how he does. Literally throw him in and see how he does. We'll put him in as a setup role. Lineups, we'll just let the depth chart. I guess we can start him every second day. Cabrera and Ramirez can flip-flop. I don't want Robinson starting every second day in left field. Although he has played pretty well. So we'll get Ramirez back out there every second game. Yeah, that works. Yeah, Drew Romo, we re-signed in the last episode in the live stream on Sunday. He wanted a minimum contract, so we signed him to a minimum deal for the rest of the season. And he's been so good this year that we decided to extend him 2 years at 1.4, so that'll take him till he's 33, and that will likely be the end of his career. But even as a backup, his defense is still stellar. So, all right, let's get into this. First game at San Diego against the Padres this month. We lose 1-0. Oops, it's not where I wanted to go. I clicked the wrong button. I've never seen this page before. Interesting. Final game of the series against San Diego, and we win 3-0. Rule at 396. Man, I hope he can get to 400. Hitting 396, 432, 689 on the year. Gonzalez goes 8 shutout innings, and we take on Cincinnati now. Let's go. 6-2 loss. All right, 1-3 out of the chute here in September. Not great. Not great. 13-7 victory. We got up early, 9-3, never looked back. 3 RBIs for Jones. He's now over 100. So we have 3 players with more than 100 runs knocked in. Bowser has 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Romo drives in 3 more. Lemon up to $1.85. He was 0 for his first 11, so he's 5 for his last 16. That's good. Rocker gets the start, doesn't pitch well at all. We get home runs from Lemon, Jones, and Romo. So we're 2-3 this month. And we're really just playing out the string, hoping that nobody gets injured, with that big lead in the National League West. Another loss, so it's been a challenge. Was that 2-4? Yeah, 2-4 this month. 2-4, 2-5. 2-6 to start the month of September. Not expected. Wow, another loss. And now Rocker is hurt. Okay. So let's stick Kumar on the injured list. So we're 90-58. Not great. We'll call Haas back up, and we'll put Miles in as a starter, I guess. I guess. Not a great start. 2-7 here in September. Can we bounce back? There we go. 12-4 win. Rules down to 391. I think 400 might be out of the realm of possibility. Drew Jones continues to mash. He's had just a great second half of the season, up to 24 home runs, 113 RBIs. 3 players with over 110 runs knocked in for us. Baker gets the win. He hasn't been particularly good, but we get home runs from Briones, the youngster Aguilar, and Jones. Can we win 2 in a row? Bust out of this slump a little bit? No. So 3 games now at Chicago. Wow. 4-10, I think, this month. We'll take a look, but I think we're 4-10. Denny is 15-4. We 4-10, is that right? 4-9. 4-9. We still have the best record in the National League, only now by a game over the Mets. Some teams playing well. The entire National League East is over 500. And the entire National League West, other than us, is under 500. Man, Sorensen's good. 13-9, 3.73, 8 WAR, 250 strikeouts. And he may be a one and done for us if we can. I mean, we have the money to sign him, but I'm not prepared to give him that kind of money. And we went back-to-back games for the first time all month. Cabrera, 2 hits, picks up his 11th home run. Romo's got 10 home runs in 167 at-bats. He's having his best offensive season since 2025. Be his best OPS ever. Granted, it's in half a season, but Sorensen gets the win. Cool. All right, so we win 2 in a row. Can we make it 3 in a row? Can we finish the month strong? That would be nice. 7-1 win. So there we go. 2-1, 3-1, 7-1 in our last 3 games. Ramirez, 2 hits, 3 runs scored. Is that his first home run of the year? Yeah, it is. Federico Ramirez, it's his first home run of the year. Jones has 3 hits. Baker gets the win. So 12-3 in the last 3 games. That's nice. The game. Can we win another game? We do. We win 6-2. 3 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th. Miles picks up the win, going 6, giving up 2 runs. Home runs from Rule and Bowser. The more and more I think about it, the more I'm thinking I want to bring Bowser back. I don't know that I can afford to bring him back at what he's... I mean, I can afford to bring him back at what he's asking for. I don't know that I want to sign him for that long. If we can get him to like a 4-year deal, if I get him to like 4 at 60, if that's 15 a year, that would be great. Really solidify that left side, especially if we have a new shortstop come in. Rule, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. So we've won 4 in a row. Can we make it 5? Yep, 7-6. So we up 7-0, and we hold them off. Who got the start? Gonzalez, 9-8. Home runs from Briones, Lemon, and Aguilar. Yeah, and Lemon's only hitting $155. A 37 OPS plus, man, just ain't going to get it done. Defensively, he's really good. But that OPS, that bat just isn't going to carry him. Jones at 287, which given where he started, that's awesome. So can we win our 6th in a row at Philadelphia? No, we lose 11-4. We lose 6-5. Lose 6-5. Jeez. 8-12 this month. We have 3 games left at Pittsburgh. We're going to come up short of 100 wins again. And given where we were at the beginning of the season, that's a bit of a disappointment, to be completely honest. We win 13-4. Rockers ready to come back. Rule picks up 4 hits. He's at 392, so he's going to come up short of 400, but he is going to hit it close to, if not over, 390 on the season. 2 RBIs for Romo, 2 RBIs for Bowser, for Fisher, 3 RBIs for Lito. Miles goes 4 in this one. Sullivan, 3 1/3 shutout to get the win. Two games left. 4-2 loss. We're 97-64. We end the season at 97-65. That was a bad month. That was a really bad month. 9-14. That was a bad month. Starters were good. Bullpen was the worst in the National League. We do get Norman back here, so we can just put him... Oh, we got to get him on the 40-man, and the 40-man's only 38 men long right now. So we will DFA. I guess we don't really need to DFA all of them, but we will. We'll put Norman back on the 40-man, get him back on the roster. We're going to be without Acosta and Peoples. We have 172 messages. I should have read my mail. All right, so let's get to anything interesting happen in... Micker Adolfo hits his 300th home run. 2,500 hits for Lindor at age 38 now. Looks like he's going to come up short of 3,000. Dodd wins 20. Strikes out 341 batters. He is a free agent in 5 years, so they signed him long term. Anything else we want to look at? Giolito, how did Lucas do this year? 13-6, 380 with Philadelphia. That's fine. We weren't going to pay him 30, and that's that. All right, let's take a look quickly at our stats at the end of the season before we get to the postseason. So Sorensen ends up 14-10, 3.55 ERA, almost 9 WAR. Strikes out 275 and 215 innings. Denny, with his best season as a pro, 15-5. We had 4 starting pitchers with more than 200 strikeouts. Sorensen, Denny, Gonzalez, and Rocker, all with 200 strikeouts or more. All 4 of them had WARs of over 4. All of them had FIPS of under 4. Satterfield settled into that stopper role. I think his splits were pretty even. 3.5 as a starter, 2.98 as a reliever. Yeah, he was about as good as a reliever as he was as a starter. ERA plus was a bit higher. Walks were down a bit. Home runs were down a bit. So I think we made the right decision there. But now we'll have Satterfield and Norman for the postseason, which is obviously a good thing. Getting Norman back in 5 days is going to be big. Not that he was great this year, but man, he was hurt last year too. Injuries galore. 60 strikeouts in 37 innings, though. Yeah, I would love to be able to bring back Sorensen. I really would, and if that means maybe we move on from Rocker after 1 season and dump that money into Sorensen, I would be fine with that. But that's an off-season decision. Sullivan had a really good year, another really good season for us. He was a Rule 5 pick back in 2029, and you can see just 3 great seasons for us. 17-3 in 3 seasons, been a reliable member of our bullpen. Yeah, look at all those strikeouts, man. That's a ton. And we're going to go to a 4-man rotation. in the postseason, and it's going to be Sorensen, Denny, Gonzalez, Rocker. We'll set the playoff roster here in a minute, and we're going to go stoppers with Satterfield and Norman. We're going to lean on the two of them. Offensively, Rule had 6 WAR, came up just shy of 390, hit 389. We had 3 players with at least 114 runs knocked in. Lido got off to a hot start, then slowed down, but still ended up at 4.6 WAR, which puts him right in line with what he's done every single season for us. Jones bounced back, ended up having a great season. 3.5 WAR, 10 triples, 25 home runs, 120 runs knocked in. Played very good defensively out in center field. So Drew Jones hanging in there at 28. Danny Fisher, a really, really nice year for us this year, 38 and 114. Bowser played well after coming over to us. Had a 90 OPS and 90 OPS plus, just under 800 OPS, but defensively was very good. Put up almost 2 WAR in like half a season. Cabrera, Romo. Let's talk about Drew Romo for a second. 60 games, 1.4 WAR, 11 home runs, was terrific. Andy Powers got off to a really, really hot start, and then we ended up benching him for Rule just because of how well Rule was hitting. But we'll have to find a home for him next year. Cabrera did pretty well once we made him the starter. Good bat. The glove isn't great, but neither of their gloves are great. Padilla probably belonged in the minors this year, as did Aguilar, but because they were both Rule 5 guys, we had limited options. Lemon only hit a $184 in his first big league playing time. Was that his first time in the majors? Yeah. But, if the bat develops, he might be a replacement for Acosta if we can't re-sign Acosta. Yeah, so I think offensively we're fine. We're the Rockies, right? And I think we have a really, really good 1 through 4 here. So let's get to the beginning of the playoffs. So we win the division, 17 games over the Padres. Finished with the second best record in the National League behind the Mets. All right, so we got to set our postseason roster. Anybody not on here that should be? I think Padilla's going to sit this one out. Callahan's going to sit this one out. I think we bring Ferguson in. Oops. Who is there that we don't want there? Man, our bullpen is so bad. Spencer Miles, we'll bring Ferguson up. All right. So, we have Satterfield as a stopper, 7th or close. We'll bring in Norman as a stopper, 7th or close. Edwards will stay the closer as secondary role of stopper, and I'm going to lean on these 3 guys here. I'm also going to lean on Joe Sullivan. So those 4 guys are really going to be... I wonder what would happen if I did this. If I just put 4 stoppers out there. Went with Edwards, Sullivan, Norman, and Satterfield as the 4 main guys out of our bullpen. Because the rest of these guys have just been awful. So let's try this. Let's see if that works. Lineups. Our lineup is fine. Lido, Cabrera, Rule, Jones, Fisher, Bowser, Romo, Lemon. Against lefties, Lido, Bowser, Rule, Jones, Aguilar, Cabrera, Romo, and Lemon. And I think that's good to go. So we'll save this. We finished 97 and 65. Not great, but considering, finishing with 97, well, I shouldn't say 97 wins isn't great. 97 is fantastic. We were just, 39 and 18 at some point earlier this season. Last month was not great, but that's fine. So let's take a look at the playoff coverage. So we got New York and Houston, Philadelphia and Washington. Let's see what happens here. You have a feeling that Washington is going to win that game. So Houston wins the wild card in the AL and in the NL. Wow, the Phillies beat 20-game winner John Dodd in the wild card game. So we're going to be taking on Milwaukee. So let's just quickly look at the Brewers, the 93 and 69 Brewers. Obviously a very different team now that we are 12 seasons into this. They still have Garrett Mitchell, Luis Robert, old friend Gabriel Arias. Their pitching staff is okay. Actually, no, their pitching staff's not very good. 11th in starters ERA, 11th in bullpen ERA. Their offense is slightly above average. Our offense is better. They have Johnny Sicoli, who very similar to Sam Wesniak, but gets hurt quite a bit. Good closer in Nate Wise. That's what I need. I need a closer, man. All right, well, let's get to it. Let's see how the playoffs go. Mitchell Sorensen against Jamie Fortner in Game 1 goes to the Rockies. We shut them out 7-0. Rule 3 for 3, 5 RBIs. Cabrera 3 for 5, couple of runs knocked in. Cabrera has 3 doubles. Sorensen goes 8 shutout innings. It was unbelievable. Game 2 now will be Ted Jalbert against Jim Denny. And we are up 2-0. We win this one 6-4. RBIs from Cabrera, Rule, Jones, Bowser. Lemon has a couple of hits. Denny goes 7 2/3 innings. Sullivan comes in, pitches an inning and a third to get the save. And we are on the verge of going to the National League Championship Series against either the Mets or the Phillies. Danny Gonzalez against the former Colorado Rocky, Chad Horn. Okay, playoff coverage. Chad Horn pitched. How did they end up? Who did we trade him for? 2029. I think it was Estrada, right? The second time we picked up Estrada. Yeah, Raul Estrada, Bobby Newman, Josh Wilson, all 3 of which are now gone. So that wasn't a great deal for us, but that's okay. That is okay. Game 3. And goes to Milwaukee as they beat us 4-1. Robert hits a home run. Gonzalez went 5. Provolone goes 2. Horn 6 shutout innings against his former club. So game 4 in Milwaukee. Kumar Rocker against Brandon Smith. Series is tied at 2. We lose 7-4. Wow, so Milwaukee coming back. Rocker doesn't make it out of 5. We get doubles from Rule. 2 triples for Danny Fisher in this one. Nick Gonzalez, the now 33-year-old Nick Gonzalez, 4 for 4. So we're relying on our ace, Mitchell Sorensen, in Game 5 against Jamie Fortner to send us to the NLCS or send us to the offseason. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. And we lose. We win the first 2 games of the series, and we then lose 3 straight to the 93 and 69 Brewers. That is a disappointing end to the 2032 season for sure. 2 runs in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. The offense can't get anything going. Sorensen goes 5 1/3, gives up 3 runs. Fortner goes 6 1/3, shutout. And our season is over. So let's look at the playoff tree and let's get to the end of the playoffs. Well, that stinks, but it looks like this is going to be an off-season episode here. Not expected. The Phillies, the Brewers, the Astros, and the Angels. So it looks like we're going to have some new representation in the National League for the first time in nearly a decade. It's been dominated by the National League West since the Sims started. The Dodgers won, 5 out of the first 6 or something? We've won 3 of the last 5. So the Phillies and the Astros are up. West Tunnel retired. Bellinger re-signs with the Angels. Playoff tree. So Phillies are in the postseason. Astros with a 3-2 series lead over the Angels. That series is now tied at 3. So Houston and the Phillies in the 2032 World Series. I'm rooting for the Phillies. This is a National League sim, so we're going to go for the Phillies. They're up 2-0. Can the Astros battle back? 2-1. 3-1. 3-2. And the Philadelphia Phillies win the 2032 World Series. They beat the Mets in 4 in the DS. They beat the Brewers in 5 in the CS. And they beat the Astros 4-2 in the 2032 World Series. How did Wozniak do? His second full season in Toronto. Led the American League in home runs, 48, 117. 5.8 WAR. Contact's starting to dip a bit, but that's fine. How did Chris B's first year go in Oakland? Led the American League in hits, 333, 387, 490. He was really good there. And yeah, so our season is over. So we win once again, we win the division and don't win the World Series. That is our 7th straight division championship. Or the 7th straight year we've made the playoffs, rather. Our 3rd division crown, and in those 3 seasons, we have not won the World Series. So we've won the World Series 3 of the last 6 years, all 3 of those times finishing in 2nd place. So I guess that's what we do here going forward, right, is try to finish 2nd. Let's look at the waiver wire, because I saw there were a bunch of names on that list. Anybody of interest? Always use some pitching, right? Always use some pitching, but it doesn't look like there's anybody any good. Yeah, nobody that I'm too terribly eager to sign. So, yeah, I guess it's off-season time, guys. It is off-season time. So, Camilo Doval, option year. How was Doval with us? 3-0, 517. I mean, I'm probably gonna sign this contract just because he's an extreme ground ball pitcher with 100 movement. It's $3 million. We will execute that. Season goals. We made the playoffs. He wanted us to find an upgrade for Danny Fisher, who hit almost 40 home runs last year. He was happy we signed Drew Romo. He's angry with our performance, and his overall mood is undecided, even though we've won 3 World Series in the last 6 years. Team payroll of around $200 million. So that gives us $76 million to play with this year. We can bump ticket prices again. Let's bump them to $42.50. Top prospect lists. We don't have anybody. Where is our minor league system? 22nd. McElfresh, Cabrera, Real, Powers, and Satterfield. Okay. A lot of people fired. Yeah, so it's time to just jump in. Obviously, we're going to offer both of these guys a qualifying offer. We'll get these guys signed, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look. I've sort of switched my thinking here a little bit. In the live stream, I said it was Sorensen, Acosta, Bowser was kind of the order in which I wanted to sign these players. I think now it's Sorensen, Bowser, and Acosta. Oof. Yeah, so he's down to 5 years now. I bet I could get him at like 4 at 15, which I would be okay with. But first things first, let's go in here and let's sign all these players. So Norman only wants 850, so that's an easy one. Let's get him signed. Carter Smith, we're going to continue to bring him back just because I can't believe that he's going to be this bad forever. But at this point, he is what he is. So 142, I guess 1450. Yep, okay. Grant Newton. We overused him this year. He got exposed a bit. But I think he's a valuable member of the team, especially as a swingman. You know, we might stick him in the starting rotation this year in that 5 spot. Chris Hawes, I think I'm about done with. We're going to go ahead and non-tender him. Zach Edwards was pretty effective for us. Bring him back at 1-1. Try to get the cheap ones out of the way first. Cole Winn. We're going to go ahead and withdraw. And now we've got Rule, Denny, and Gonzalez. So Rule wants 6.5, which for what he gave us, it's a no-brainer, but we'll give him 5.75. Save a bit of money there. Gonzalez is up to 7-1. That's fine. Will he take 6.75? He won't. Will he take 6.85? He will. Okay. Denny wants $21 million. Okay. It's a crap ton of money, man. All right, so can we sign him to like 3 years at 20, 25, 27.5? He wants the 1 year. Okay. So we'll sign him to the 1 year at 21. Bowser. So if he wants 5, can I get him for 3 at 15? Okay, so he wants, what about 4? I'll give him 4 at 15. Shit, he wants that 5th year. Okay, so if he wants 5 years, can we knock it down? Will he take that? No. What about 4 at 16? All right, so we have one more shot at this before he locks us out. Do I just go 5 at 16? That's $80 million. Average speed, good base stealing, very good overall, very good defensively, average number of homers. I mean, he could play shortstop for us, too. Really, he could play shortstop for us as well. So I think... Oops, that's not where I wanted to go. No, I think if we do 5 at 16... So let's try this. I mean, if he blocks us out of this, then it is what it is. But this feels like a fair deal. Okay, it is. So 5 years, $79 million for Bowser. These two, I think I'm just going to let go to free agency. Acosta, I mean, if he accepts 1 year at $18 million, I'll jump all over it, but he won't. And Sorensen won't either. And with him hitting 30, I don't know. Christian Robinson, we can probably bring him back super cheap if we wanted to. The bat ended up not all that great, but he's good defensively. Any of these guys we want to bring back? I don't think so. I think we can fill our minor leagues with and this might be part of the reason our prospects aren't really developing, because we have so many of these guys that are playing ahead of them in the minors. So we're just going to let them go, and then we'll fill in the minor leagues at the beginning of spring training. So we're going to sim ahead here. We'll get all those guys signed. Hopefully Bowser agrees. So we're going to get a bunch of fan interest bumps for this. Newton, Gonzalez, Denny, Rule, Norman. So our fan interest should be 100. Yep, fan interest is 100. Good loyalty. $77 million for free agents. Still no signing by Bowser, but that's fine. Let's get up to the Gold Glove Awards. Yeah, I mean, losing Sorensen after 1 year would be rough, especially if we didn't... Did he sign? Did Bowser sign? He hasn't signed yet. Okay, still submitted. Yeah, losing Sorensen, if we had won the World Series this year, losing Sorensen after 1 year would not be Wouldn't be terrible. Like, I wouldn't be horribly upset about it. But given that we lost in the first round, I feel like we need to make another run at it with him. So we'll see what happens when we get to the postseason. Gold Glove winners. Oh, McElfresh is up to 4 stars. Very nice. Oh, we don't have a scout anymore. What the hell happened to our scout? Uh-oh. Did he retire? Or did stupid me just forget to re-sign him? I don't think I forgot to re-sign him. Who do we want to bring in? So we want, I think, Chris Nathan. Let's bring in Jacob Wiley. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're the same. He has no interest in being the scouting director for us. Really? What about Chris Nathan? All right, so we'll sign Chris Nathan, bring him in as a scout, and let's look at the defensive. So you can see American League there: Munoz, Rushman, Toglia, Gucher, No, Ellis, Marsh, Pache, and Doogie, Alex Verdugo. In the National League, we didn't win anything. Bruns, Mummert, Preciado, Clark, Kirch-Gessner, Zavorik, Talamontes, Jaden Jones, and Billy Cotton. Sim had another day. So Nathan, we will likely sign him reliever of the year. In the AL, Angelo Quiros, 23 years old, man. In the National League, Nate Wise of the Brewers. Not surprisingly, nobody there for us. Platinum Sticks in the AL, Rushman, Wesniak. Rushman's still going. How old is he? 34 years old. Wesniak, Bandolo for the Red Sox, Wander Franco, Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, Samuel Zavala, Danny Kren, and Noah Miller. So a couple of real players still on this list. In the NL, Swift, Bart, Sam Wynn, Theo Gillen, Kirch-Gessner, Khalil Watson, Mike Rule, and Litos. So we go in 2 Silver Sluggers this year. Still no word from Bowser. Would like him to sign that contract here. And there we go. All right, so we signed Drew Bowser. He'll be our starting third baseman / shortstop. Haven't quite gotten there yet. AL Rookie of the Year, Harry Ford, a 29-year-old catcher. Bobby Newman. Jeez, man. 340. In the National League, Sergio Adon Rowan. We didn't have anybody in the top 5. So I think we let Acosta go, and we figure out what to do with third base. We have the rookie, or he's not really a rookie anymore, but we have the guy we picked up in the Rule 5 a year ago who can play third, and we can move Bowser to short if we want to, but I would prefer Bowser to be our third baseman. Brandon Hyde of Baltimore wins the Manager of the Year, and Joe Benson in the National League wins AL Cy Young, or the Cy Young. Ben Guess, are you kidding me? This was not a... If you were traded by the Colorado Rockies this year, you had a good year. So Ben Guess, his first and probably only season with Detroit, 17-8, 3.48 ERA, strikes out 207 and walks 22 in 214 innings, wins the Cy Young. No surprise, John Dodd wins in the National League, 20-5, 341 strikeouts. Denny and Sorensen finished 3-4. A bunch of former Rockies on this list. You got Denny and Sorensen, obviously. Lucas Giolito pitched for us for 2 years. Sixto Sanchez pitched for us for a year. And, so a lot of Rockies on this one. And MVPs. Zavala wins it in the AL. Wesniak finishes third. And Mike Rule, your 2032 National League Most Valuable Player. 389, 425, 685, 1110 OPS, 55 doubles, 28 home runs, 118 runs knocked in, and we got him for $1.25 million. So let's get up to arbitration and see that Acosta and Sorensen both declined the qualifying offer. Acosta may not be. That's fine. Yeah, look at all the former Rockies. You got Bobby Newman, Sam Wesniak. There's Wesniak again. You got Chris B on here. All right, arbitration hearings. Ooh, anybody interesting here? Nope. All right, let's sim ahead today. Yep, so they both filed for free agency. Juan Soto making $38 million a year for Houston. We'll get to free agency. We'll look at the international guys, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with our free agent issues. Termarr Johnson filed for free agency. Again, he's somebody, he wants $33 million. Okay, well, Termarr Johnson's not going to be an option for us. Anybody interesting here? Wow. Dave Hinojosa, nickname of Barracuda, out of Venezuela. He could play third. Bowser could move over to short. Okay. Mets want to send us Bobby Berry because they're immediately going, hey, you guys don't have a shortstop. I know I don't have a shortstop. So free agents, Johnson, Acosta. Yeah, not a lot of big names on here. I mean, other than the ones that we let go, Sorensen and Acosta. Sorensen's the best pitcher. Acosta's one of the best hitters. You got Ben Guess on there coming off of a Cy Young Award winning season. So, all right, let's get to it. What do we have for? We have $66 million for free agents, $86 million for free agents. And Sorensen's demands have gone up. Look at that crazy, ridiculous. Okay. Well, he's priced himself out, so we'll keep an eye on him and see if maybe we can bring him back for less than that, but he's priced himself out. I mean, what does Bieber want? 37 years old, wants 5 years. No, I'm not going to give you that. I'm not against signing someone like Bieber. I mean, maybe we can bring Bieber in for 2 years. Would he take like a 2-year, $20 million contract? Or can we do this? Do something like that? Yeah, I mean, that seems like a pretty good deal. If he can stay healthy, $20 million, and then we, decide what to do with him next year. I'm okay with that. All right. So 3 years, $60 million, but it's really just a 1 year, $20 million deal with a couple of options. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Tony only? I mean, do we do this again? I mean, I feel like, yeah, I mean, the AI's being dumb, but I'm going to let them be dumb. Bring in a 4-star outfielder and then figure out what to do with him after that? Sure, why not? So we need a shortstop, right? We need a shortstop, or we need a third baseman if we want to put Bowser at... Oh, wow. Meyer turned into just an outstanding defensive player. But he's fragile. If he wasn't fragile, I'd sign him. Like, that's the kind of bat that makes sense. Alex Mooney. He's pretty good at short. Electrifying speed. Take a walk. Fluid swing. Had 4 really solid seasons with the Phillies. Has struggled as of late, but... Yeah, I mean, he's not any better than... I mean, do we make a run at Hinojosa? High loyalty, high adaptability, high intelligence. Make him our third baseman and make Bowser the shortstop? Franchise cornerstone. Really? Wants 9 years. I don't want to give him 9 years. Would he take 5? Something like that? With team options? He would. Okay. So if we do this, Hinojosa becomes our third baseman, and Bowser becomes our shortstop, which I think is also fine. The range is good. The error is good. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be as good at short as he is at third, obviously, but that's still a very, very good shortstop profile. His bat plays really well at shortstop as well. Then we have Aguilar, who can back up, and he'll probably start in the minors. All right, well, that's a good. I think that's a good start to our offseason. I mean, I would love to bring Sorensen back. We'll keep an eye on his contract demands. If it comes down, maybe we can make a run at it. But at what he's asking for now, it's not realistic. Anybody else here that might interest us? I mean, I wouldn't mind bringing in Mooney as that backup middle infielder. So we'll keep an eye on him as well. I mean, he could be a really good backup middle infielder for us. High leader. Wouldn't play every day, but could play all the infield positions pretty well. But at $8 million, I don't know that I want to do that. So we'll keep an eye on it. If we can get him down, let's see something. We get him for like 3 at 5. No, he's not interested in that. Salary's not going to get a ton. All right, so I made him the offer. Maybe he'll come back to us and say, hey, I'd like to talk. If I could sign him for 3 at 5, I would be happy to do that. Let's get Peoples. Let's do Hall of Fame. And then I'm going to skip ahead to the Rule 5. So I'll do that offline. You guys don't need to just see me sit here and skip forward day after day. All right, so what do we got? Robbie Cano in his 8th season. It looks like he's probably going to get there this year. Garrett Cole. No, Cole didn't win a Cy Young in this, really. Cologne we'll vote for. He's not going to get in, but we'll vote for Cologne. We'll vote for King Felix. Vote for Mauer, who's in his 10th season, likely won't get in. Vote for Yachty, who likely won't get in. Not voting for Rizzo. We're going to vote for Sale, who likely won't get in. Not going to vote for Stanton. Not going to vote for Story. Not going to vote for Strauss. Well, not a lot. Votto we're going to vote for sure. He absolutely deserves it. This is not a very good Hall of Fame class. All right, so I'm going to skip ahead now to the Rule 5. When we come back, we'll take a look at the contract signings and if we made any deals. So hang tight. I'll be back in a minute. All right, we are back for the Rule 5. And I guess we'll start with the bad. Both Victor Acosta and Mitchell Sorensen have signed elsewhere. Victor Acosta, so you can see here, signed with the Cubs 7 years. Sorry, my chair's squeaky, and I'm uncomfortable. 7-year contract worth $176 million. Good for Victor, but we were never going to pay him that. We were never going to pay him that, especially wrecked. But he came off of 2 great seasons for us. We signed him for like $1.5 million. So good for him. And then Mitchell Sorensen signed with the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, he's a stud, man. He is a stud. And his contract pays him as such. 7 years, $240 million. That's a contract I was never gonna give to a 30-year-old pitcher. Not 7 years, and if it was going to be 7 years, it certainly wouldn't be for that amount of money per season. So we're going to have 3 first-round picks in the upcoming draft. Now for the good. We have signed most of the players that we've been interested in so far. We signed Shane Bieber to a 3-year, $60 million contract with 2 years being team options. He's 37 years old, But you can see what you're getting here out of Bieber. Elite control, 5 great pitches, extreme ground ball pitcher. If he can give us 160, 170 innings this year, I will be thrilled with that. We signed only to a 1-year, $1 million contract. We may end up trading him. I don't really have a spot for him, but he's a fan favorite. Great speed. It's coming off a 359 season for the Braves. So, yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do with him, but we will see. Hinojosa, we're battling the Dodgers. I said in the live stream that the Dodgers were going to be a problem this offseason with $130 million in excess payroll. So we had to offer Hinojosa a guaranteed contract, no team options. And it's at 5 years, $135 million. I'm not sure how much higher than that I'm willing to go for him because he's good, but I don't know if he's that good. So we'll see what happens. And then we offered Alex Freeland a 2-year, $7 million contract. He's 31 years old. Only had a $1.99 last year, but can play first, third, and short. He's a very good. He will be that guy that we thought that I was talking about Mooney was going to be. He'll be that guy to be our backup infielder. And it's time for the Rule 5. So we just got to make sure that there is nobody, and you can see how empty our minor league system is now with all those minor league players that we sent away. We'll put Seeley on the 40-man, or I guess the 38-man. Rodriguez is down to 2 stars, so we can enable promotion there. Kyle Williams, Okay, so our new scout doesn't like Escueda as much. That's fine. Escudiero, we'll put him on the 40-man. Rodriguez, we'll put him on the 40-man because of that defense. Just need the contact to get a little bit better, and then he could play shortstop for us. How did Hurst do in his rookie season? 240, 8 home runs, 18 RBIs. Not bad. Alvarado getting some time in at second. That's nice to see. He hit pretty well. Yeah, I think that's it. So let's look at the Rule 5. We are picking 30th, and let's see what's available. Oh, he is on the 40-man, right? Yes, place on the 40-man roster. I thought I almost lost him there for a second. No picks have been made yet. All right. I got nervous there for a minute. All right, so it's our pick. And we got 23-year-old Gabe Vega, who's a 3.5-star bat. Caden Grice is a 30-year-old, a 23-year-old with 85 power potential. Victor Morales. Oof, look at that. No place to play him. No place to play him at first base right now, so we will pass on him. Steve Beltrame, good shorts, good fielding, good fielding shortstop, good speed. Bat's really bad. We may pass on the Rule 5 this year just at a quick glance, but we'll see if there's anything we're missing. We'll look at pitchers here in a minute, though. Adelaide Hussum out of the Houston organization. Good fielding center fielder. Going to hit for a good contact. Was really, really good in high A ball or in double A last year. And we need a backup outfielder. We need someone who can play all 3 positions. That might be an option. That might be an option. Juan Ortiz isn't bad, but defensively isn't great. A weird first baseman. A 30-year-old first baseman who can't really hit, but is elite on the bases. Billy Weeks looks pretty developed, but let's look at pitchers. I might take that center fielder, assuming there are no pitchers here that really stand out. Eric Dufault, number 63 prospect. Yeah, I think we're going to take him. If the control develops, he's an extreme ground ball pitcher with great stamina. Yeah, we're going to take him. It's my... Yep. DFA. Go away. Let's get back to the Rule 5. And let's get back in here. And now we can take Dufall. Fan interest increases slightly. So let's continue on and see if that center fielder is there. We may end up sending that center fielder back. But I think for the time being... Batting potential. Contact. Adelaide Hussum. Adelaide Hussum. It's an interesting name. Oh. Okay, now it's our pick. All right. So we'll make those 2 picks, and then that'll be that. And now I want to see... With sort of the new alignment here, we've got Ferguson, who is still a good bat who can play all the infield positions. Actually, we have the hell's his name? Freeland potentially coming in here. I assume he's going to sign the contract, which means Ramirez doesn't really have a home. So let's see what we can get for Federico Ramirez. And I can take on some salary, so if I can get a decent pitcher... decent reliever like Hector Ramirez, who's out for the next 5 to 6 months, but he looks pretty damn good. We'll look at the trade block here in a second. Pete Heinrich. Movement's concerning. Tim Knopf. He looks really good. Might be Tim Knopf. Knopf. Nope. Knopf. We're gonna go Knopf. He might be the pick, unless there's another Billy Schultz with the Twins. Number 1 pick overall in 2030. I mean, he would almost be he's a starter. I mean, he could be a starter. I think that's a good option. See if there's anybody else here. Steve McCloskey, Carlos Torres. McCloskey's a fly ball pitcher. I like that guy with Minnesota. Billy Schultz. There's a lot to like about this trade. Can we add anything else? Give us this first baseman. Stop wasting your time. All right, I apologize. Not trying to waste anybody's time here. Trying to maximize our return. You can't really blame me, can you? Yeah, it looks like that's probably going to be it, which is fine. I mean, I think that's a pretty solid return. I think he's a pretty darn good pitcher. What if we had J.J. Self? Have to do a whole lot better. Nobody I'm prepared to give up just yet. So this is fine. Ramirez for Schultz. I like that deal. That improves our bullpen by giving up somebody that we don't have a spot for this year. That means that our starting second baseman this year is going to be Josh Cabrera. So he has taken that second base role. He's going to hit for more power. The contact won't be quite as good, but I think he'll be fine. Our pitching staff... currently as constituted looks something like this. Bieber, Denny Gonzalez, Rocker, Schultz. Or Norman. I mean, does Norman go back in there? Yeah, I think Norman goes back in there until he gets hurt. Yeah, we still need, we still clearly need some bullpen help. But I think Schultz in the pen with Satterfield will be a pretty good 1-2 punch. Sullivan's still pretty good. We still have $19 million this year and $60 million for next season. Let's finish the draft. And this episode's probably going to be a little bit longer just because I'm not going to be streaming on Sunday, which means this will be the last video until next Wednesday. Actually, there might not even be a video next Wednesday because I get back into town. Well, there might be. It all depends on how much I can do that Wednesday when I'm back. I don't know. Next week's going to be a bit of a cluster, but I'm getting out as many videos here as I can over the next week. So let's quickly look at the Offseason Center. There weren't really any great free agent pitchers out here. Lagerwell isn't terrible. I mean, we traded him. Didn't we trade him to Oakland? Oh, we claimed him on waivers and then released him. He signed a $15 million contract with the Yankees. Of course he did. What about the trade block? Carson Montgomery is on the trade block. Jagger Haynes. Meh. I like Holden Christian. Trade him to me? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. 100%. Here, you want 23-year-old Noah or Nigel Apia? Sure. Works for me. Gives us another solid. And we got to handle the 40-man. All right. Miles, your time is done, my good man. Holden Christian. All right. I think that's it for moves, off-season moves. I think we're going to sim ahead now to opening day. We'll set the lineups, we'll set the rosters, and we'll call it an episode. So if I do anything else, obviously I'll go over it, but I'll be back here in no time flat, at the snap of a finger. All right, we're back, excuse me, just before opening day. It is April 1st. And yeah, it's almost time for the beginning of the season. We suffered some injuries in spring training, which kind of stink. We're without Peoples again. He's down for another 3 months. We may have seen the last of him. Kamar Rocker's out for about another month with shoulder tendonitis. Andy Powers is hurt again, this time with a fractured wrist. And Bobby Seeley's out for a couple days. So anyway, we made a deal. We made one deal while we were gone, and that was for... Where is he? Baruch Zvidi. We traded for Zvidi from the Chicago Cubs, and we gave up Adelaide Hussum, who was the player we signed in the Rule 5. So we traded him to the Cubs, and the Cubs can do whatever they want with him, but we pick up another reliever, Baruch Zvidi. Throws 98 to 100, 3 good pitches, good stuff, good control. Just another bullpen arm for us to sort of fiddle around with over the course of the year. We signed Hinojosa. All right, that was the big one. We signed Dave Hinojosa to a 5-year, $135 million contract to be our starting third baseman. That will move Bowser over to short, which I'm fine with. And we signed Alex Freeland, who's a former Rocky. Was he a Rocky farmhand? Yeah, back in 2026. What did we do with him there? Did we trade him? We traded him to the Nationals in the Sal Stewart deal. So it comes full circle. And Alex Freeland is back with the Rockies as a backup infielder. So that works out well. And now I think that's it. Yeah, I think it's time to set our roster. I'll take a quick look at player development. Again, this one I don't pay a whole lot of attention to. Oh, wow. Drew got bad. Okay. We may need a catcher. We may need a catcher for sure. Bano got better. Let's take a look at the Offseason Center and see if there are any catchers remaining. Perez in rushing. Oof. Adding potential. Nobody really any good there. Oof. Okay. So let's find catchers who have good defensive ability and then go from there. Wow, Drew fell off the face of the earth there in that last sim. Brady Neal looks pretty good. He's going to hit for some power. Not a lot of good catchers in this world. Zion Rose is a pretty darn good catcher, and he's not making any money, but they won't trade him to us, so let's go back and let's drop that down to a 71. Masato Chilcutt, claimed off waivers. All right, well, we're just going to deal with what we have for the time being. We have, I don't know, I wouldn't mind a Zach Park. I mean, I can't imagine that they would trade him to me. Yeah, I have no players to make this work. All right, anyway, we got to set our roster. So we have 35 players. So our 5 starters are going to be these 5 until we get... Did Bieber drop? No, his control's still good. Yeah, it's going to be a one-and-done thing with Bieber, I think, but that's fine. So this will be our starting rotation until we get Rocker back, and we got to send some players down. So pitching ratings... Seeley's not ready. We got to send a bunch down, actually. Baker, we'll send both of those guys down. Cole Baker, that's fine. We will DFA you. Christian. Fisher's not a pitcher. I don't want him. Is he listed as a two-way player? Because if he is, I need to stop that. See if that takes him off the list. It does, thankfully. Rule. We're going to not use him as a two-way player either. I want to get all of these quote-unquote pitchers off this list so that I can see exactly what I have from a pitching perspective. So we got 17 now. Oh, and I got to get Lito off there too. Ooh, wow. Luke Lito has started to drop. This is going to be it, I think, for him. That's going to be it for him, I think. So we're at 16 now, so we got to send 3 more pitchers down. Pitching ratings. Huh. Who do we send down? Edwards was our best pitcher last year, but his ratings aren't as good now. He has to clear waivers. That's fine. Designate. Sullivan's ratings have dropped a little bit too, but he's pitched well enough that he's earned the right to stick. Zvidi. Send him down. We got to send 1 more pitcher to the minors. And I think it's going to be Provolone. Yeah, because he hasn't been good. All right. So there is our pitching rotation to start the season. Once we get Rocker back, Schultz will probably go to the bullpen. Satterfield is going to stay the stopper. We're going to give Aparicio. We're going to give the 25-year-old a chance as the closer / middle relief. So let's just do this and come back over here. Sullivan, I don't want as well, I guess, no, I want him as a middle relief, and he can be the specialist, so we'll do that. So we'll have Christian. Yeah, Christian and Sullivan as our middle relievers, Doval, Dufault, and Smith as our long relievers. Running with these two guys as our, oh wow, Satterfield's ratings dropped significantly during the season, or during the offseason. And then Schultz will be a bullpen arm once we get Rocker back. So now we are at 30. So we got to send 3 players down. Bano, Rodriguez, and Escudiero. So that should give us our 27. We got to send 1 more, so we get to 26. I think it's Aguilar. He's not ready. All right, so there's our 25-man roster. Now we need to set our lineups. Ratings. So Lito and Hinojosa are both lefties. So I think Hinojosa becomes our leadoff hitter now. Rule will be our number 3. Fisher will be our number 4. Only needs to be out there against righties. Rule. So Jones will be the center. Jones will be center. Yeah, I gotta have Lito out there too, though. So I need to have all these guys out there. Our starting catcher is gonna be Callahan. All right. So can any of these guys play second? No. First, third, and right. Only's 29. And that doesn't even account for Powers when he comes back. When he comes back, Padilla, I think, goes down. What do I think? Lito. Lito's the odd man out here, I think. Only in right. Yeah. And Cabrera in at second. So we're going to go with that. Lito's going to back up in left and right. And he'll play a couple of times a week. So he'll play like every third game there. And he'll play every fourth game here. He'll also back up there. And actually, let's do this. Let's set that first. So Lito. So Lito will play. Not going to play every second game there. He'll play every fifth game against first base, at first base. Every fourth game in left. And every third game in right. So that gets him into 3 games a week. Freeland. Back up at third and short. Nah, that's a pretty darn good lineup, I think. Go over here to lefties and paste. So against lefties, Freeland's better. So does Freeland start at second base against lefties? I think so. He's better defensively, so I think we do this against second base or against left-handers. Depth chart only is not great against lefties, so we will start Lito against lefties in right field, and only can play like every 10th game or something. I don't want that. Okay. Yeah, we're really left-handed heavy, and I don't think that Power is a lefty as well. Yeah, he is. We are really, really left-handed heavy in our lineup. So that could mean someone like Padilla gets moved. And yeah, I think this is the end of the road for Luke Lito. He has been just absolutely fantastic for us over 6 seasons. 30 wins in 6 years, but the numbers are starting to drop. And yeah, he's going to get expensive. Yeah. I mean, not that expensive, but we have replacement options that can give us what he's given us, especially with Hinojosa in there now as our leadoff hitter with that 86 eye discipline, and against righties, he's just phenomenal. Against lefties, do we want to change anything? Do we want to make anybody else our leadoff hitter? No, but I think we do this. We're going to move him up there. We're going to do something like this. Gets Jones a few more at-bats against lefties. All right. So let's sim up to opening day. Hopefully nobody gets hurt between now and then. Just as I say that, defaults out for a week. So we lose Cole Baker and we lose Zach Edwards. San Diego claims Baker. Los Angeles claims Zach Edwards. That's fine. Wow, we weren't good in spring training. We're 11-19. So Clubhouse appreciates the fact that we got rid of Baker. They don't like the fact that we lost Edwards. It is what it is. 11-19 in spring training. Hopefully spring training doesn't mean anything this year. So I think we're taking a step back from a pitching perspective. Going from Sorensen to Bieber is a step back, but I wasn't prepared to give a 30-year-old pitcher 7 years at $32 to $35 million a year. So we'll get Bieber in there, and we'll see what next year brings, because that's, it's $20 million that, if he's not worth it this year, we'll, two-team options. We'll just decline the option, I guess. Wants us to win it all. Top 100 prospects. We don't have anybody. Where is our minor league system ranked? 20th. McElfresh, Dufault, and Real. Preseason predictions have us going 87-75. We don't have any pitchers on this list. We've got Rule offensively, only offensively, Fisher offensively. I really wanted to bring him back, but that's just a crazy, crazy contract. Bieber. Okay, so everything bounced back a little bit. I think Denny, however, is going to be our opening day starter. He is our ace. So we'll go Denny, Bieber, Gonzalez, Norman, and Schultz. We get Rocker back. We stick him in there. And I think we're good to roll. I think we are good to roll. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. We have made it to the start of our 13th regular season. I appreciate all the support throughout the course of this playthrough. I know the guys over at GM Games appreciate it as well. And like I said, I won't be streaming on Sunday. I'm going to be traveling. Hopefully, I don't think I'm going to be able to get another video out until next week. So I may not talk to you guys until a week from Sunday. So if that's the case, have a nice week and a half. And I'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.